It's Easter. Who would have figured? Is it me or is this whole year going by so fast? I mean, I'm 18 already, so definitely feels like it's going by fast. Well, guys, it's Joshua Reviews, and if you couldn't tell by the years, we're going to be reviewing an Easter movie for Easter. This movie's not about Jesus Christ, nor is it about his resurrection, nor him being crucified, or his life story. I know, a Christian reviewing a Easter-themed horror film for Easter. That's appropriate. Well, the truth is, as a horror fan myself, I don't think there's a lot of Easter-themed horror films. So when Easter Bunny Massacre caught my eye, I was like, yo, we're gonna get one. This is kind of cool. I don't think I've ever seen an Easter-themed horror film other than Bunny Man and Bunny Man Massacre, which has that bus scene that everyone knows, and now people say, hey, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 copied off Bunny Man Massacre, And I think that there's a film called Easter Sunday, and that's about it. Oh, and Easter Bunny Kill, but those films aren't well known. You have to dig to find those films. But not this one. This one's made by ITN. So you're gonna get something. So, how was Easter Bunny Massacre? Well, it's ITN first and foremost, but ITN isn't a company that produces films mainly. I mean, they do, but they mainly take a film that's already been made and release them on DVD. That's kind of their whole shtick. It's like if a movie was made for Warner Brothers, but the rights got, messy, so they gave it to Universal and they, released the film. It's kind of like that. The plot is basically, I know what you did last summer, but with Easter. A group of friends, a bunch of high schoolers who are clearly adults, they are together on Easter Sunday, and the next morning one of them dies. And they all vow to not speak of it. Then 1 year later, they get invited to a party, and one of them knows who did it, and they start dying one by one. I'm gonna be honest with you, I was in for it. I was down for this. I was like, whew, this is a cool concept. I really want to see how it's executed. And even though the Bunny Man killer does not look anything like the one in the cover, he still looked creepy, and I kind of dug it. Not gonna lie, this movie's titled Massacre, so it's gonna deliver on the kills and stuff. And yeah, the kills are decent for a low-budget film. I mean, the one thing I can say this film was good for was for the budget, it looked like every penny was spent. It's not like a movie made by Screen Media or I don't even want to say the Asylum, but it's a low budget film, but it looked like every penny that they spent on it. The blood effects looked pretty good. The cinematography was decent for a low budget film. The actors were fine. There were a few that gave some bad performance, but I'll get into that later. I think overall, the editing was fine. And I think that, the one thing I can say that this movie had going for it was the twist. The twist was kind of surprising to me. I was like, whoa, that's who it is? Okay. What's their motive? Why are they doing this? Oh. Okay. It's pretty good. That was kind of my, genuine, whole, feel of the movie. It's okay. We got an interesting twist, we got an interesting setup. Let's see if it delivers. And it did, for the most part. The one thing I think this film suffers from is that, unlike those murder mystery films, because this movie is clearly paying homage to Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, the early 2000 slashers. I think what it fails at doing is keeping the viewer entertained. Because there's a lot of talking. A lot. And a lot of it is not that interesting. We learn the characters as we go on, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. But my other problem with this film was that I don't think any of the characters were interesting or likable. They were just disposable people. There was only one likable character, and towards the end, they do something with her that you're just like, oh, well, there goes that, you know. So no, you can't really root for anyone in this film, and the acting is okay. So all you really have left to salvage is the good cinematography, the okay acting, the writing, and the kills. And that's kind of it. The film itself isn't bad. There's nothing about it that screams, oh, this film is trash. This film is hot garbage. You know, why is there a reflection? Or why is there like a character who delivered a line poorly? Why is something happening that shouldn't happen? You know, it's like none of that happens. It's all good the way it's executed. I just think that it could have been better in terms of characters and the way the story flowed. Because towards the middle, I was like, okay, the pacing needs to pick it up a notch, otherwise I'm gonna get bored. And thankfully it did. And then I went back down, and I went back up. I was like, so this is the ride we're going on. It's gonna go up and down, isn't it? And that's kind of the movie in a nutshell. It's good, but not. Actually, I won't even say it's good. It's okay. That's kind of how I feel about it. There are worse films out there. Let me get that across. Even if you don't like this film, there are worse films out there. You could pick a worse film. I'm just saying, you could watch fucking Dark Harvest 2 and be like, oh yeah, this one was clearly better. Because this one did keep me interested to see, okay, how does it end? I want to know how it ends. However, I will say, while the twist was cool, the ending was weak. It's very weak. It just kind of left me like, that's it. Okay. Very different emotions that were just kind of, like that's kind of the whole film in a nutshell. It's, like I wouldn't say go watch this film, but I wouldn't say it, you know, don't. Like if you are a diehard slasher fan and you want to go see a slasher Easter movie, honestly, I'd probably just say watch Bunny Man, because I actually kind of like that film, but I gotta rewatch it, so maybe I'll review it if I have time. But you could pick worse, honestly. But I would say watch a different slasher. And I think that's pretty much it. It's got okay acting, not really likable characters, interesting twist to keep you, interested. The kills are okay, it's got good gore, but nothing to write home about. The kills are low budget kills. I think the best low budget film that executed those well is either Secret Santa or Mrs. Claus, but I hate Mrs. Claus, so pick her poison. But it's okay. That's really the best way I can describe it. It's okay. So I'm going to give it a C. Watch it if you want or don't. Either way, I'm going to go watch Hop and then probably end up watching my favorite Christian film, or one of, Breakthrough. So watch that for Easter. Happy Easter, guys, and remember, Jesus came back this day.